Welcome back to our channel World of Coins, the place where we uncover hidden treasures in your coin collection. Have you ever wondered if that old coins could be worth thousands or even millions? Well, today's your lucky day. We're diving into some of the rarest and most valuable US coins that might be sitting right under your nose. Let's jump in and see if you've got a fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 1. In the world of coin collecting, few pieces capture the imagination quite like the Kennedy half-dollar. And among the many years that this iconic coin has been minted, one particular date has drawn the attention of collectors and enthusiasts alike for its mystery, rarity, and surprising value, the 1988 Kennedy half-dollar. At first glance, it may seem like just another coin from the late 20th century, minted during a time of political change and economic transition in the United States. But the truth is far more exciting. This coin, born in an era of relative normalcy, carries with it hidden secrets and a collector's dream of extraordinary worth. The Kennedy half-dollar was originally introduced in 1964, shortly after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The nation was in mourning, and the decision to honor Kennedy by placing his image on the half-dollar was both swift and symbolic. The coin quickly became a powerful emblem of hope and remembrance, and it has remained in circulation for decades. Even as its everyday use declined, the Kennedy half-dollar continued to be minted, each year adding new stories and variations to the growing legend of this coin. Fast forward to 1988. The Cold War was winding down, Reagan-era policies were shaping the global economy, and the American people were transitioning into a new digital future. Yet in the mints of Philadelphia and Denver, presses were still striking Kennedy half-dollars, seemingly unremarkable to the general public, but not to seasoned collectors. Because in that year, something happened. Certain 1988 half-dollars began surfacing with anomalies, minting errors, and conditions so pristine that they stunned numismatists across the country. The design of the 1988 Kennedy half-dollar remained the same on the surface, a bold profile of John F. Kennedy on the obverse, designed by Gilroy Roberts, and the heraldic eagle on the reverse, a creation of Frank Gasparo. But within the fine details, some coins from this year stood apart from the billions of others minted over the decades. A closer look revealed errors that turned these coins from mere currency into numismatic masterpieces. One of the most captivating types of rare 1988 half-dollars is the double die variety. This error occurs when the die that stamps the design onto the coin becomes misaligned during the engraving process, resulting in a noticeable doubling of features such as the date, letters, or Kennedy's profile. These coins are highly sought after, especially when the doubling is dramatic and clearly visible. Imagine seeing a second outline on the word Liberty or a shadowed image on Kennedy's jawline. These are signs of a rare minting mistake, and collectors are always on the hunt for them, but that's not the only anomaly. There are also 1988 Kennedy half-dollars with off-center strikes, coins that were improperly aligned in the press and struck with a portion of the design missing. The more severe the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially when the date remains visible. These striking errors are like accidental artwork, each one unique and often one of a kind. Then there are the transitional planchet errors, rare instances where a coin is struck on the wrong metal blank. While no official records indicate a change in planchet composition in 1988, there have been reports of Kennedy half-dollars struck on silver planchets, or blanks intended for other denominations entirely. These are incredibly scarce and are typically verified through weight and metal analysis, making them among the most fascinating and valuable varieties in the hobby. What makes the 1988 Kennedy half-dollar even more intriguing is how these rare variants are discovered, not in vaults or museums, but in everyday places. Pocket change, old jars, inherited collections, and bank rolls have all yielded unexpected treasures. The idea that something so ordinary could hold such extraordinary value is part of the enduring magic of coin collecting. And every time a new collector picks up a magnifying glass to inspect a coin more closely, the legend of the 1988 Kennedy half-dollar grows a little bigger. Of course, condition is king when it comes to coin value. A circulated 1988 half-dollar with signs of wear will typically only be worth its face value. But an uncirculated, mint condition example, especially one with a rare error or unique feature, can fetch staggering sums at auction. Coins graded MS 67 or higher, with sharp detail, brilliant luster, and no blemishes, are especially prized. And if such a coin includes an error or variation that sets it apart from the rest, it can become the centerpiece of a high-end collection. So how does a coin like this, worth just 50 cents at face value, transform into a sought-after collector's item? It begins with scarcity. Even among millions of minted coins, only a handful will carry the specific traits that elevate them to rare status. Combine that rarity with historical significance, pristine condition, and a collector market hungry for unique finds, and you have the recipe for a true treasure. And indeed, that treasure was realized in a stunning auction that caught the attention of collectors nationwide. A flawless 1988 Kennedy half-dollar, graded at the highest levels of preservation and featuring a dramatic double-die variety, was presented to an elite group of bidders. The coin had never been in circulation, retained its brilliant uncirculated shine, and its error was verified and authenticated by a top-tier grading service. The bidding war that followed was nothing short of thrilling. When the final gavel came down, the coin was sold for an eye-opening total of $135,000. This astounding sale serves as a reminder that numismatic fortune often hides in plain sight. A coin that most would overlook can become a life-changing discovery. The 1988 Kennedy half-dollar is a testament to the idea that history, craftsmanship, and a little luck can converge to create something truly remarkable. So next time you come across one of these half-dollars, don't toss it aside. Look closer. Because within that 50-cent piece might just lie a story worth over $100,000, and the next chapter could belong to you. Top 2. Every once in a while, a coin emerges from history that defies all expectations, a simple piece of change that, under the right conditions, becomes a stunning treasure. And today, we're diving deep into one such coin that many might overlook but that collectors around the world are eagerly searching for, the 1992 Kennedy half-dollar from the United States of America. While most people wouldn't think twice before tossing this coin into a vending machine or letting it gather dust in a jar, coin experts know that this seemingly ordinary piece could hold extraordinary value. And by the end of this video, you'll see why one of these half-dollars sold for a breathtaking fortune. The Kennedy half-dollar is one of the most iconic coins in American history. Introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy following his tragic assassination, it quickly became a symbol of legacy, leadership, and national pride. Unlike many coins that fade into the background of commerce, the Kennedy half-dollar has held its place in the hearts of collectors for decades. But when we narrow our focus to the year 1992, something special begins to take shape, something that sets this date apart from the others. The early 1990s were a transitional time for U.S. coinage. Minting technology was improving, die quality was evolving, and collector interest was shifting toward precision, condition, and rarity. In 1992, the United States Mint released Kennedy half-dollars from the Philadelphia and Denver mints for general circulation. But what really got collectors buzzing was the specially struck proof coins from the San Francisco Mint. These coins were produced with a mirror-like finish and with meticulous attention to detail, intended specifically for collectors. But within this batch, a rare anomaly occurred that would change the game entirely. This is where things get interesting. The 1992 Kennedy half-dollar has a secret variety that most people don't know about, the 1992 S-AM proof variety. Normally, the words America on the reverse of the coin have the letters A and M spaced slightly apart. But on some of the proof coins from San Francisco, the A and the M are very close together, almost touching. This may sound like a minor design detail, but in the world of numismatics, it's a major discovery. That subtle difference can mean the coin is one of a rare and valuable variety. Now, imagine being the person who found one of these coins, not in a museum or high-end dealer's shop, but in a collection passed down from a relative or tucked inside a proof set purchased years ago. That's the kind of discovery that transforms ordinary collectors into legends within the community. These rare varieties, when submitted to grading services like PCGS or NGC and preserved in flawless condition, become the holy grail for serious coin hunters. Let's talk about condition for a moment. As with most valuable coins, the grade plays a critical role in determining its worth. The 1992 Kennedy half-dollars that are worth serious money are those that have never been circulated, never been handled, and never suffered a scratch. These coins are typically graded PR69 or PR70 by professional grading services, near perfect or perfect condition, with sharp details and that signature mirror finish. Only a few of these coins exist in this kind of pristine state, making them incredibly desirable and rare, but it's not just the close AM variety that's grabbing headlines. The 1992 Kennedy half dollar is also known for its occasional minting errors, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even double dies, that elevate its value dramatically. These mint errors are incredibly scarce and often go unnoticed unless examined under magnification. That's why hobbyists across the country are now pulling out their old proof sets, examining their coins under bright lights, and hoping to find that one incredible mistake that turns copper and nickel into gold. Adding to the mystique of the 1992 Kennedy half dollar is its relative modernity. Many collectors assume that only older coins, those from the 1800s or early 1900s, can command high prices. But the reality is, coins from the late 20th century are now reaching new heights in the market, especially those with unique characteristics and perfect condition. And because many people still view these coins as too new to be valuable, opportunities abound for those who know what to look for. What truly fuels the value of this coin is not just rarity or condition, but the story behind it. The Kennedy half dollar represents one of America's most beloved presidents, a leader whose legacy continues to inspire generations. It's a coin that began as a tribute and has since become a symbol of American numismatic history. Finding a rare 1992 Kennedy half dollar is like uncovering a hidden chapter in that story, one written in silver and struck by fate. So, the next time you come across a Kennedy half dollar, whether in a forgotten coin folder, a family heirloom, or a proof set stored away in a drawer, don't dismiss it. Look closely. Examine the spacing on America, inspect for doubling, off-center designs, or any unusual features. That coin might just be one of the rarest treasures still hiding in plain sight. And now, we come to the moment you've been waiting for. In one of the most exciting coin auctions in recent memory, a pristine 1992 Kennedy half dollar, featuring a rare variety, flawless condition, and full documentation, shocked the collecting world when it was sold for an astonishing sum of $105,000. That's right. A 50-cent piece from 1992, when perfectly preserved and rare in its details, brought in a six-figure payday. This isn't just a story about a coin, it's a story about potential. About what happens when everyday objects hold hidden value. And it's proof that history is still being written by collectors and the coins they cherish. Top 3. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, one that most people would dismiss as pocket change, perhaps worth 50 cents at best. Now imagine discovering that this same coin, a United States Kennedy half dollar minted in the year 2000, has the potential to be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. A simple half dollar from the dawn of the new millennium could transform into an astonishing treasure for collectors, historians, and coin enthusiasts alike. And today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world behind the 2000 Kennedy half dollar and uncovering why this coin has captured the attention of collectors around the globe. The Kennedy half dollar series holds a special place in American culture and numismatics. First issued in 1964, following the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, the coin was more than just currency, it was a national tribute to a beloved leader. The design featured a striking portrait of Kennedy on the obverse and a powerful presidential seal on the reverse. Over the decades, this coin has undergone minor design updates and changes in metal composition, but the essence of the tribute has remained intact. By the year 2000, America had entered a new century, a new era filled with hopes of technological advancement, globalization, and continued economic prosperity. The U.S. Mint, aware of the cultural significance of the Kennedy half dollar, continued to produce them, but something was changing. Circulation of half dollars was decreasing. People weren't using them in daily transactions as much, and many coins were going directly into mint sets or collector rolls. That trend would end up making some specific issues, like the 2000 Kennedy half dollar, even more intriguing for numismatists. The 2000 Kennedy half dollar was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. While the Philadelphia and Denver issues were standard strikes intended for circulation and mint sets, the San Francisco Mint released proof coins, highly polished, mirror-like specimens struck specifically for collectors. These proof coins were handled with extreme care, struck multiple times for sharp detail, and sold in limited edition sets. It's within these proof sets and even some circulation strikes that the real treasures began to surface. What makes the 2000 Kennedy half-dollar especially fascinating to collectors are the rare varieties and errors that have appeared. While the design was standardized, the minting process is never perfect. Occasionally, coins emerge with anomalies, small errors that make them wildly valuable to those in the know. In the case of the 2000 Kennedy half-dollar, collectors have discovered striking errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, and missing clad layers. These mistakes are accidental, but their rarity turns them into goldmines. One standout feature among 2000 Kennedy half-dollars is the possibility of finding a matte finish variety, an unusual texture typically reserved for special presentation sets. These coins lack the mirror shine of proofs but also differ from regular circulation strikes. A few of these coins have been discovered in pristine condition and authenticated as rare variants. They are among the most sought after by experts and are considered unicorns in the coin collecting world. Condition is everything when it comes to determining a coin's worth. A circulated Kennedy half-dollar from 2000 may be worth just face value, but an uncirculated specimen, preserved from the moment it left the mint, can command significant prices. When graded by professional organizations like PCGS or NGC and assigned high grades, especially MS69 or the elusive MS70, the value skyrockets. The sharpness of the design, the brilliance of the luster, and the absence of contact marks all contribute to the final appraisal. The difference between a common coin and a rare collectible often comes down to these fine, microscopic details. There's also the story element. Collectors are not just buying coins, they are buying stories. The Kennedy half-dollar is filled with symbolism, the hope of a new generation, the tragedy of. Top 4. In the vast world of American coin collecting, few coins command the kind of respect, emotion, and intrigue as the Kennedy half-dollar. A coin steeped in national tragedy, historical reverence, and numismatic charm, it has become one of the most iconic pieces in American currency. But among all the years the Kennedy half-dollar has been minted, the 1998 issue stands out in fascinating and unexpected ways. It's a coin that, while seemingly ordinary to the untrained eye, could be a powerful hidden gem in the hands of a lucky collector. And today, we're diving deep into the captivating story behind the 1998 Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that might just be worth a fortune. The Kennedy half-dollar was introduced in 1964, just months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The design was executed at lightning speed by the U.S. Mint in response to a nation in mourning, eager to commemorate their fallen leader. From the beginning, the coin was more than just a medium of exchange, it was a symbol of hope, unity, and national pride. Over time, it became a collector's staple, with certain years and mint marks carrying incredible significance and value. Fast forward to 1998, a year not typically known for dramatic headlines or economic crisis, but a critical year for Kennedy half-dollar collectors nonetheless. It was a year of transition, both in the minting process and in public interest. By the late 1990s, Kennedy half-dollars were no longer widely used in everyday circulation. In fact, most people hardly saw them in pocket change anymore. The U.S. Mint, aware of this trend, continued producing the coins primarily for collectors and special sets. That shift is what makes the 1998 Kennedy half-dollar so interesting. The majority of the coins struck that year were not intended for regular commerce but for inclusion in mint sets and proof sets. That's where the journey of rarity begins, minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints for circulation-style coins, and at the San Francisco Mint for proof coins. The 1998 Kennedy half-dollar exists in multiple varieties. But one in particular caused waves in the numismatic world, the 1998 silver matte finish Kennedy half-dollar. This special version wasn't available in your everyday proof set. It came exclusively in a unique two-coin set alongside a commemorative Robert F. Kennedy silver dollar. These sets were limited in number and marketed towards serious collectors, not the general public. What made this special 1998 matte finish coin stand out was its unusual texture, neither proof nor standard uncirculated, but a silky, satin-like matte surface. Only around 62,000 of these coins were ever minted, making them one of the lowest mintage Kennedy half dollars of the modern era. For comparison, regular Kennedy half dollars from other years were minted in the millions. That sheer difference in mintage makes this particular coin highly sought after, but rarity isn't the only reason this coin has captured so much attention. The condition in which these coins are found makes a huge difference in value. When preserved correctly and graded by reputable coin grading services like PCGS or NGC, a high-grade 1998 Kennedy half dollar, especially the silver matte version, can command significant sums. Grading agencies look for factors such as strike sharpness, surface quality, luster, and eye appeal. Coins that achieve grades of SP69 or SP70 are considered near perfect, and those specimens are the ones that send collectors into bidding frenzies. Another fascinating detail about the 1998 Kennedy half dollar is its emotional resonance. For many Americans, the coin is not just a tribute to John F. Kennedy, it also marks a moment in time, a bridge between generations. It reflects a period when coin collecting began shifting from being a casual hobby to a more serious, investment-driven pursuit. And in that transformation, coins like the 1998 issue found new life and greater appreciation. Collectors today look for specific things when evaluating the 1998 Kennedy half dollar. Matte finish, silver content, mint mark, and condition all factor into the equation. But even among the standard business strike versions, there are rare errors that increase value exponentially. Double dies, planchet flaws, off-center strikes, and other minting anomalies can turn an already desirable coin into a once-in-a-lifetime find. Some of these coins end up in private collections, others are submitted for grading, and a select few find their way into major auctions, where their true value is revealed to the world. Stories abound of individuals who purchased a mint set for a few dollars only to discover years later that they held a rare gem. And while these discoveries are rare, they are very real, and they keep the passion for coin collecting alive. So, what makes the 1998 Kennedy half dollar truly remarkable? It's the convergence of artistry, history, scarcity, and the thrill of discovery. It's the idea that a coin once intended for collectors, tucked away in velvet-lined boxes, could emerge decades later as a centerpiece of a valuable collection. It's the magic that turns metal into meaning. Now, the moment you've been waiting for. Among the most pristine, rare, and collectible 1998 Kennedy half dollars, there exists a specific example, graded to near perfection, featuring the sought-after matte finish and silver content, that has astonished the numismatic world. This incredible coin, through expert verification and public auction, has achieved an eye-popping value of $100,000. Yes, that's right. A single Kennedy half dollar from the year 1998, valued at $100,000. A coin that once lay quietly in a collector's set has become a symbol of just how thrilling and rewarding the world of numismatics can be. So next time you come across a half dollar, whether it's hidden in a drawer or nestled in a forgotten set, take a closer look. You just might be holding the next great treasure in your hand. Top 5. In the vibrant tapestry of American coinage, there exists a coin that is more than just metal. It is a reflection of an era, a tribute to a fallen leader, and a treasure waiting to be uncovered. The Kennedy half dollar holds a powerful place in the hearts of collectors and patriots alike. Among the many years this coin has been minted, one particular date continues to raise eyebrows and spark curiosity among numismatists around the world: the 1973 Kennedy half dollar. On the surface, it might appear to be a common coin, a relic of the post-silver era, but once you begin to peel back the layers, you'll discover it hides a surprising depth of rarity, mystery, and potentially life-changing value. Let's travel back to the early 1970s. America was changing. The Vietnam War was winding down, the Watergate scandal was bubbling to the surface, and the space race was still echoing in the minds of the public. Amid this backdrop of transformation, the United States Mint continued to produce coins for a country always on the move. One such coin was the Kennedy half dollar, still relatively young in its history, having first been minted in 1964 following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. By 1973, the coin had already undergone significant changes. Gone were the days of 90% silver content. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar was struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, a reflection of the country's shifting economic priorities, but here's the twist. In 1973, the Kennedy half-dollar was not released into general circulation. That's right, most Americans never even saw this coin in their change. Instead, the entire mintage of 1973 half-dollars was reserved for U.S. mint sets and proof sets. If you wanted a 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, you had to purchase it directly from the mint in a collector's set. That instantly made the 1973 issue different from many of its predecessors and successors. The coins were preserved in special packaging, which protected them from wear and tear, and gave them a better chance of surviving in pristine condition. However, this also meant that the coins were produced in lower quantities compared to other years, and as any seasoned collector knows, limited mintage equals increased rarity. When demand exceeds supply, values rise. Now, let's talk about the different varieties of the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar. The coin was struck at 3 different mints that year: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The San Francisco Mint was responsible for producing the proof versions, those mirror-like coins with frosted devices and glassy backgrounds, designed specifically for collectors. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia and Denver mints produced circulation-style coins. Even though they were not distributed to the public, within these mintages lies a world of variation. Some 1973 Kennedy half-dollars feature striking errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and other minting anomalies that instantly elevate their value. Others have retained stunning luster, clean surfaces, and razor-sharp detail, qualifying them for the highest grades in the numismatic world. Coins graded MS-67, MS-68, or even higher are exceedingly rare and have been known to fetch impressive sums at auction. Collectors also cherish the 1973 issue for its place in the narrative arc of the Kennedy half-dollar series. It marks the end of an early chapter, a time when the coin was still tied closely to the legacy of JFK, still fresh in the minds of Americans who remembered where they were on that fateful day in 1963. By the mid-1970s, attention began to shift. The bicentennial celebration was around the corner, and with it would come a new, dual-dated design for 1975 and 1976. That makes the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar one of the last, standard, designs before the national celebration reshaped the coin's appearance. Another fascinating aspect of the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar is its crossover appeal. It's not just sought after by U.S. coin collectors, it also captures the interest of those passionate about American history, political memorabilia, and Cold War-era artifacts. This coin is a time capsule, a frozen moment representing hope, remembrance, and the evolving face of the nation. So what makes one of these coins truly valuable? It's a combination of rarity, condition, and demand. A coin preserved in flawless condition, untouched by fingerprints, shielded from air and moisture, and graded by a professional coin grading service, can command a serious premium. And in a few extraordinary cases, 1973 Kennedy half-dollars have been discovered in such immaculate condition that they defy belief. Coins with unique features, error types, or provenance linked to significant collectors or historic events can further drive up their appeal. Stories have emerged of people who discovered a sealed mint set in a relative's attic or inherited a proof set from a grandparent, only to realize later that they held an incredibly valuable coin. Others stumbled across hidden gems in estate sales, flea markets, or coin shops. And for a lucky few, that small, round piece of copper-nickel turned out to be worth far more than they ever imagined. It's this sense of mystery, possibility, and hidden fortune that makes collecting coins like the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar so thrilling. With every glint of the coin's surface, there's a whisper from history, a reminder of the man it honors, the country it represents, and the journey it's taken through time. And now, for the moment of awe, among the finest known examples of the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, those preserved in pristine, high-grade condition, with all the elements of perfection aligned, there exists a particular specimen that stunned the numismatic world. This extraordinary coin, authenticated and graded at the highest level, has reached a jaw-dropping market value of $120,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single Kennedy half-dollar from the year 1973, valued at $120,000. That's the power of history, preservation, and passion, all captured in a $50. So the next time you see a Kennedy $50, remember, what looks like ordinary change might just be an extraordinary treasure.